Welcome to the next session of Programming for Problem Solving. The topic of the day is self-referential structure and union. You already are aware of what is a structure and how we can create a structure and the objects of the same. In this video lecture, you will learn about a special type of structure called the self-referential structure and another user-defined data type called the union. Now, can we create a structure object as member of the structure? The answer to this question is no. You are not allowed to declare an object of the same structure as a member of that structure. Please look into the example of the structure prototype that has been given below. Here we are trying to create a structure named student and 4 members of the same. The last member of the student structure is an object of the student itself, which is not allowed in C. You cannot create an object of the structure as member of that structure. It will give a problem while you try to define the objects. That means memory allocation will be a problem. It will get caught into a indefinite loop. When you create the object of a structure, it will further create an object of that structure because it is member of that structure. And when you try to create the second object of the structure, which again includes a structure object, it will get into an infinite loop of creating the structures, and hence it is not allowed. You are not allowed to have a structure object as member of the structure. Instead of having an object of the structure as member, you can have pointer of that structure as member of the structure. Please look at the example given below. Again, we are trying to create a structure of the student name. 4 members have been defined here, and please look into this particular member. It is different from the member that we saw in the last slide. In the last slide, it was student S1. So S1 is an object of the student, and here we are only creating a pointer. A pointer will not further create a pointer or an object because a pointer variable is used to store only the address part. So hence it will not get caught into the indefinite loop. So it will only be creating a pointer variable in which 2 bytes of memory will be allocated and it will be used to store the address of student structure. So this is perfectly allowed. So now it is the right time for you to understand what is a self-referential structure. A self-referential structure is a structure that contains pointer of the same structure as member. As you saw in the last slide, there was a member student star PTR of the same structure student. That is an example of self-referential structure. That means a pointer of the same structure as member. Why we create a self-referential structure? Self-referential structure can be used to create linked list. Linked list is a list of elements just like you have arrays. It is obviously different from the array, and you will understand the difference between the array and linked list as this video tutorial goes on. So now it is the right time for you to understand what is a linked list. A linked list is a linear list of elements. So please keep the arrays in mind while we are trying to understand the concept of linked list, because linked list is also a linear list of elements. Array is also a linear list of elements. Linear linked list is a linear list of elements that consists of nodes which are not stored continuously in memory. So this is the difference between the linked list and the array. This is the first difference between the two, in fact. In case of array, all the elements are stored continuously one after the other, whereas in case of a linked list, the members are not guaranteed, or actually they are not stored one after the other. So they are stored in the scattered places in the memory. That is why they are called the linked list, because there is a link between the two different members of the list. As they are not stored continuously, so the first member must have the knowledge of where the second member is stored in the memory. So this can be achieved with the help of pointers, self-referential pointers. A pointer as element of the first, as the member, it can store the address of the next element, and the second element can store the address of the third element, and so on. So let's have a look into the pictorial representation of the linked list. So this is, in this slide you can see two types of figures. The first figure shows the structure of a single element or a node inside the linked list. So every element or a node of a linked list is divided into two parts. Information refers to all type of information that can be stored in a single element or a node of a linked list. And the second part is used to store the address of the next element inside the list. As you can see in the figure below, this is an example of how the linked list is formed. There is a special pointer that can be used to store the address of the first element in the list, start. So this is the first node or element of the linked list. Here in this information part, you can store the relevant information to be saved in the element. And then this link part will contain the address of the second node. Similarly, the link part of the second node contains the address of the third node, and the link part of the third node contains the address of the fourth node. Now, fourth node is the last node in the list, and hence the link part of the node contains a special value called null value. So the null value means that this is the last element of the linked list. There are certain special properties of the linked list as well. If start is equal to null, the start is used to store the address of the first node. And if start in itself is null, this means that the list is empty. There is no element inside the list. A biggest advantage of a linked list over the array is that this list can shrink and grow as per the requirement. So there is no wastage of memory. If you need more elements, dynamically more elements can be allocated. And when the elements are deleted, dynamically the elements can be removed from the list as well. So this is a pictorial representation of how a linked list looks like. Now it is time for you to understand how the memory allocation is done to a linked list. Before that, we will see a comparison between the array and the linked list. Memory allocation. All the elements of an array are stored contiguously, and linked list, the elements are stored non-contiguously. Nature of memory. The memory allocated to array is static and fixed, given at compile time, whereas the memory allocated to the linked list is dynamic and generally allocated at the runtime. Memory for link, because all the elements in an array are stored contiguously, so there is no need of link. Link is required to link the different elements of the linked list. For that, we are going to use the self-referential structures. Random access. It is possible in case of array, and it is not possible in case of linked list, because we only know the address of the next element in the list. Hence, we cannot randomly jump. But in case of array, we can randomly jump. Traversing. In case of array, it is easy to traverse both in the forward and the backward direction. And in case of a simple linked list, single linked list, we can only traverse in one direction. To traverse in the reverse direction as well, we need to use a double linked list. For that, we require additional memory. Insertion and updation operation. Insertion and updation operation in case of array are very costly. Costly in terms of the time they require. Because if you delete one element, all the elements which are after that element have to be shifted one place in the front. Like just like a line. If you have a line of people standing, if you remove one person from the line, all the people after that person, they move one step forward. Whereas in case of linked list, insertion and deletion are very effective. Only the link is removed and no shifting of the elements take place. So this is how the array or linked list in fact is stored in the memory. There are two figures given in here. One is a table which shows the actual memory, and the other one is just a pictorial representation of the linked list. So first of all, have a look at this pictorial representation of the linked list. A total of 4 elements are there. The first element is stored at memory address number 90 because start is equals to 90. So start contains the address of the first node. So where our first element is stored in the memory? At the 90th memory location, as you can see here. What is the value of the or the information part of the first node is ABC. What is the address of the second node? As you can see in the link part of the first element, it says 50, which means the second element is actually stored at the address location 50. So here we go. What is the value? NDG. And the link part says 120. That means the third element in the link list is stored at location number 120. The value is JKL and the link is 100, which means the fourth element and the last element of the link list is stored at location number 100. So if you check the value at the location number 100, it is DEF and the link part is null. Null means this is the last element of the link list. If you look at the memory, only the 4 elements are in use, whereas the other elements are still free. So in case you want to add elements to the linked list, you can pick up any of these. So you can pick up the memory location, or operating system will allot you a memory location from 60, 70, 80 or 110. And when any element from the linked list is deleted, it will be added back to this free list. So you have only 4 elements free. If you delete, it will have 5 free elements. So this is how the memory is allotted to a linked list dynamically at the runtime. How to create a node of a linked list in C programming language? As I have already stated, that to create a node or a linked list, we will use the self-referential structure, and the syntax of the same is here. So the only difference between a normal structure and the self-referential structure that we will use to create a node is that one member of the structure will be a pointer to the same structure. So here is an example of a node that we have created. A node consists of 2 data members as information part. One is iData and the other one is called the CData. And the third member is the pointer to the same structure, node star link. So you can observe this particular example. This is an example of only the structure of a single node. The node has not been created. Please make sure that you do not confuse it with that a single node has been created. No node has been created. It is only the structure or the prototype of the node. The node will actually be created when you create the objects of this structure. So let's have a look at an example program for creating a linked list. So on the left hand side, the program is given, and where after the last line, the program continues from the lines given on the right hand side. So let's look at the program line by line. So this is a simple thing that you have seen in the last slide as well. A node has been created with the 3 members, data1 and data2, both are of int type, and struct node star link, which makes it a self-referential structure, a pointer to the same structure. So let's have a look at the main function. The first 2 lines are used to create the 2 objects of the structure node. So this is where you can say that 2 nodes or 2 elements of the structure have been created. Now these 2 nodes can be added into the list to make a list or linked list of 2 elements. Now how we do that? So this is the third statement that we will discuss at a later stage. For now, we only focus on the first two objects, that is obj1 and obj2. Now the link of the obj1 has been set to null. That means we are not going to establish the link at this point. We are only going to assign the value of the data members or the information part. So object 1 data is equals to 10 and object 1 dot data 2 is equals to 20. So this is the value or the information stored in the data members of the node 1. Similarly, the link of the second node is also set to null. The data 1 member of the object 2 node contains 30 and data 2 contains 40. So what we have done so far, we have successfully assigned the value for the information part of the two nodes. Now what we want? Now we want to create the list. How we will create the list? We will store the address of the first node in a pointer variable and the address of the second node in the first node. Because the second node will be the last node in the linked list, it will contain the null address. So please have a closer look and observe the statement right here. The statement says ob1 link is equal to address of ob2. This means that we are storing the address of the node 2 ob2 into the link part of ob1. So this is where the link has been established. The link part of the first node contains the address of the second node. So that means these two nodes have been linked. Now what we need to do, we need to store the address of the first node somewhere. So we know from where we are going to start. For that, come back to the line number 3 of the program. You can see here that we have created a pointer object. There is a little error in the syntax, as you can see here. The actual syntax would have been to use the dereference operator right here. So this third statement is actually used to create a pointer of the node type. Now this pointer will be used to store the address of the first node. So here you can see that we have stored the address of the first node in PTR. So we know from where the list is going to start. And we, in the previous statement, I am highlighting it again, we have also stored the address of the second node in the first node. Now let us print the value of the information part of both the nodes. Because the PTR contains the address of the first node, we can directly print the value of the two data members using the pointer object. Please note that dot operator has not been used to access the members. Instead, this particular symbol has been used. Now, why the dot operator has not been used? You can see that here the dot operator was used to access data 2. So then why the dot operator has not been used here? It is because PTR is a pointer, and with pointer you cannot use the dot operator. With pointer you have to use this hyphen and greater than symbol to access the data members. So using this statement we are able to print the value of the data members of the first node. Now we need to move to the next node. What is the address of the next node? The address of the next node is stored in the link part of the current node. So PTR of link contains the address of the next node. It will be saved to PTR. So now the PTR will point to the next node. And hence again the same statement can be used to print the data members of the second node. So here in this example, we already knew that there were only two nodes. In case you are not aware of the number of nodes, then you can implement this with the help of the loop. Then what will be the stopping condition? The stopping condition will be when you reach to the last node. And how to know that there is no node after that node? The PTR link of that node will contain null. So what is the termination condition? The termination condition will be while, not if, but while PTR is not equal to null. So while the value of PTR does not become null, you have to continue to move further and print the values of the data element. So I hope this is clear. It was clear to you what is a self-referential structure, how we can create a self-referential structure, what is a linked list, how we can create a linked list. So next is union. Just like a structure, a union is also a user-defined data type, but it is slightly different from the structure. So let's have a look at some of the properties of the union. All members of the union share the same memory space. If you have 4 data members of structure, the memory allocated to all the 4 members for an object will be separate and distinct. But in case of union, if you have 4 members and you create an object of the union type, then all the data members will share the same memory space. So how much memory space will be allocated? If you have 4 members and let us suppose that the third members require the largest amount of memory, then the total memory allocated will be equal to that. And the last is the value of only one member is valid at only one time. So if you have 3 members, if you assign the value to all these 3 members one by one, then only the value of the last member will be accessible. The first 2 values will be overwritten because the union object, the members share the same memory space. So memory allocated to the union, here is an example. You can see that there are 2 members of the union. One is name and one is ID number. The size of the name data type is 30 and the size of ID number is 20. So if it was a structure, the total memory allocated would have been 50 bytes, 30 plus 20. But because it is a union, then the memory allocated will be equal to the larger member. Which is the larger member? Name, because it requires 30 bytes of memory. Hence, the memory allocated to an object of the union will be of 30 bytes. So this is a simple program with which you will be able to understand the concept of union. Here a union citizen has been created and 2 data members are there. One is name and one is ID number. And obj1 is the object of the citizen union. So here in the main function, you can see that the first statement is used to accept the name of the student or the name of the citizen. And the second statement is used to accept the ID number of the citizen. So what we accepted first, name, and what we accepted second is ID number. And then we print the name and ID number of the both. Now let's have a look at the output of this program very carefully. The user entered Dinesh as the name and ID number as the ID of the citizen. Now when you try to print the name and ID number of the citizen, it prints the ID number of the citizen twice. Why? Because as already stated that there can be only one member that can be active at one time because they share the space. And which value will be active? The value that is assigned last, because it will overwrite the previously given value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will overwrite Dinesh. And if you try to get the name or ID number, it will only print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is generally used where the input is dependent upon some condition. All the members are mutually exclusive of each other. For example, if you want to search for something depending upon some parameter, then only one parameter will be active. So I hope this is clear to you, what is the difference between the structure and the union. So here in detail, if you get a question of what is the difference between structure and union, you can attempt that. The union can be created using the union keyword, and struct can be created using the struct keyword. Memory allocated to union is equal to the size of largest number, whereas memory allocated to the structure object is sum of memory needed by all members. When we prefer union, when only one member must be active at one time. All the members are exclusive of each other. Structure is preferred when access to all the members might be required at the same time. Also, the members of the union cannot be initialized because they share the same memory, so you cannot initialize all the members. But whereas structure, the memory is allocated, distinct memory is allocated to all the members, hence you can initialize the members of the structure. I hope this lecture was very useful to you. You were able to understand what is self-referential structure, how we can use self-referential structure to create a linked list with the help of a program. You also saw how we can, what is a union, how it is different from a structure, and how we can use union in C programming language. Thank you very much.